Good morning, my friends. Welcome to our New Testament challenge. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some thoughts and reflections from the fourth chapter of the Gospel of John. John chapter 4. The first story here is Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well. He is walking from Judea to Galilee, and he had to go through Samaria and came to Sychar and was out by Jacob's well. This is the well that has been there for years and years. And his disciples had gone on into town to get food. He was sitting there resting by the well, and this woman comes up, and Jesus asked her for some water. Now, again, we know the whole idea of Jews and Samaritans did not get along well together. They spoke to each other, but only in business. There was no asking for favors. There was, it was just didn't happen. And for a rabbi to speak to a woman also was, was shocking. And so to speak to a Samaritan woman was just really out of the ordinary. In addition, and as we'll hear, Jesus talks to the woman about her husband. Generally speaking, women go to the well early in the morning when it's still cool, not in the heat of the day. They go get the water because they'll need that for their business of the day, their chores of the day. So the fact that she's coming at noon says a number of things. Most of what I've read says that because of her quote-unquote loose lifestyle, she was not welcomed among the women of the village. And as we'll find out, she's had 5 husbands and she's living with a guy now. And so you just wonder, anyway, there's all sorts of wondering you could do. But she was not welcome with the other women, so she would come at a time when there was, chances are there would be no one there. So that's why she was there when Jesus came to the well. And so the Samaritan woman was shocked. He says, "How is it that you are a Jew ask a drink of me, a woman of Samaria?" And Jesus answered her. He said, "If you knew who you were talking to, you would ask me for water, because I give living water. And you would never have to draw from this well again." And the lady says, "Hey, that'd be great. Tell me where I can get this living water." And then she says, "Are you greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us this well?" And then Jesus says, "If you knew who was telling you this, you would..." And he said, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but those who drink of the water I give will never thirst." And she says, she's still thinking he's talking literal water. And she says, "Hey, I want that. I don't want to have to come out here every single day of my life. Give me that water." And so Jesus, again, says, go call your husband and come back. And the woman says, "I have no husband." Then Jesus tells her, "Yeah, you're right in saying you have no husband. You've had 5 husbands, and the one you're with now is not your husband." And the woman was shocked and says, "Lord, you look like you're a prophet. You tell me what I do." It says, "Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you say that the place where people must worship is in Jerusalem." Again, that whole, think about it. Samaritans and Jews, they don't know a whole lot about it, but, they know that was the crux. That was the crux of their disagreement. Samaritans worshipped on the mountain, Jews worshipped in Jerusalem. And so everything came down to, that difference. And Jesus' response says, there will come a time when you can worship the Father, when you will worship the Father neither on the mountain nor in Jerusalem. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews. The woman says, "I know that Messiah is coming, who is called the Christ. When he comes, he will proclaim all things to us." And Jesus says, "I am he, i.e. the Messiah, the one who is talking to you." So Just then the disciples came up, and they were astonished that Jesus was talking to a Samaritan woman. And they were like, what's going, why are, they didn't ask, but they were wondering. But then the woman left and ran back to the town and says, "Hey, come and see this man who's told me everything I've ever done. Could he be the one?" And so the disciple says, "Oh, come." Okay. So while she was gone, the disciple said, "Here, Rabbi, have something to eat." He says, "I've got food that y'all don't know anything about." And they were wondering, did someone bring me food? He says, "No, that's not what it is. My food is to do the work of the one who sent me." Now, many Samaritans believed in Jesus because of what the woman said, but then they come out, and he stayed for a few days, and then they said, we at first believed because of you, but now we believe because we've seen him ourselves, and we know this is truly the Savior of the world, which is interesting, that this Samaritan city would be the ones to truly proclaim that. And again, that's one of the things that the Gospels lift up. That it, even though it originated with the Jews and Jesus was the Jewish Messiah, foreigners, even those that are kind of kin, like the Samaritans, also have a part in the kingdom. So Jesus goes back to Galilee. He heals an official's son, and it's interesting that he heals without even seeing him. And the official finds out that as Jesus told him, "Go, your son is healed." And as he's going back to his home a couple days away, the servants meet him, and they tell him he's fine. And they said, when did he become fine? They said, exactly the same hour that Jesus said, "Go, your son is healed." And because of that, the official and his entire family believed in Jesus. And so here we have two stories of belief, because of some of the things that he has done and what he has said. And John says, now this was the second sign that Jesus did after coming from Judea to Galilee. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. This is some good stuff. And tomorrow we'll go on to chapter 5. Thanks a lot, my friends. We'll talk to you tomorrow.